KUGAN, CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at BXR here in London ahead of next Wednesday night's Matchroom Midweek Madness.
Long time, bruv.
It's been a while.
People were saying like it's been some bloke. Did you see that bloke tweet last night? It has now been 21 days since the last CASSIUS Hearn interview. What has happened?
Did you know it's 21
You've
days?
been on holiday. All you do now is go on holiday.
But you were on holiday as well.
Oh, I haven't been on holiday.
What?
I've been working.
You were on holiday?
That's the difference. I have not been on holiday.
Really?
No.
It's your birthday soon.
Japan
It's
and
your
Canada.
birthday soon, isn't it?
It's my birthday next
Your 40th?
Thursday. 39, son.
39. Alright, okay. Right, there's so much going on.
Where are we going to
Where are
start?
we going to start? Let's start with these fighters that you're being touted as wanting to sign. You're talking to boxing scene a lot recently.
No, I did one interview the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just see a lot of quotes coming from boxing scene.
I'm not talking about the fighters I'm approaching. They're talking about, like, one of them put it on Instagram, Mr. Broner, and then the others who I'm talking to are just telling reporters that they're talking to me. You gotta understand, there's many reasons why fighters want to tell the public or the media that they're talking to me. One is so they can drive their existing money up from platforms and advisors. Two is because they want me to pay more money. And three, because they're actually, some of them are very interested in making a move. Probably half of the people that have approached us just want to know the numbers, and the other half are probably unhappy. So we're making some great progress. I only want 3, 4, 5 big names, because the beauty of what we're doing is to make these guys stars. Focus on these guys being individual stars, not part of a team of 400 fighters or on a network with 40 other fighters that are all jumbled in. Make you an individual star, guys that haven't been promoted properly so far, and also to make sure they box frequently, they get the activity that a championship fighter needs. So I don't want to be signing 20 world champions and superstars. I want to sign 4 or 5 big names, and I want to sign a dozen, real good either world champions or guys who are on the verge of world championships, and then I want to sign half a dozen young American stars that I can really grow and build. You're going to see something completely different. These guys are going to see, I was talking to Charlo the other day, about making him a star. They have no idea.
Which one?
Jamel. They have no idea about what I'm capable of, but it's so much fun to them, because it's like here 5 years ago, everyone's working against me. Everyone. You probably got Hearn saying, "Oh, you don't need a promote." Look at Schaefer the other day. Like, everyone's shitting themselves, right? And I'm just getting started.
Did you find what Broner did the other day a little bit disrespectful, putting out your offer?
Listen, Broner's Broner. You can't do business with these people without knowing what's coming back. Didn't surprise me. Nothing surprised me with Adrian Broner. But you've got to understand, Adrian Broner is playing games. He wants to goad me into making a bigger offer. A lot of fighters out there are saying, I saw an interview yesterday. He made me an offer. It's like the same sort of money I'm making at the moment. Bollocks. I'm talking about Broner, by the way. But it's bollocks. But I will have to overpay. Well, great news for the fighters. It's tough for us because we run such a great business, and you know how much I'm on the numbers. So this is a bit of the opposite. Sometimes we'll be overpaying what the value of a fighter might be. But we're going to have to do it to build. And we've got the pot and we've got the ammunition to do it. So I'm pleased with the start. We've got about 6 fighters ready to go now. Probably another 12 that we're talking to. And again, a mixture of world champions, some stars, some fighters coming through 10, 15 and 0, some that are about to turn over. It's going to be a nice mix, but you're going to see a very different approach to promoting and working on the profiles of these guys in America. Something they've never seen before.
Espinosa tweeting after that, Broner putting that out, saying that you're silly enough to thinking that he's not earning more than that now.
2.5 million. Well, his official purse for the fight was $1 million. Okay. Now you have to understand how these purses work, because you saw Calliafai last week with his purse of $40,000. and I haven't stopped getting stick for it, people just not really understand how things work. When you're a foreign fighter, there's many different ways that your purse is broken up. One might be a payment for a matchroom sport. One will be a payment from the US promoter. That's your bout agreement. Then you've got money coming in from the UK, from international television. When you're a US fighter, you put down, well, you're supposed to put down your purse. Now, some won't always put down the full purse, but really, you'd like to think it was sort of 70 or 80% of the purse. What Espinosa's saying is somebody is paying Broner 1.5 million on top of the million in a bout agreement, which, if that's the case, is bizarre, and I'm not sure how legit that is, but that's okay. What Broner did through his Instagram was kickstart about another dozen fighters phoning me going, I'll take that deal. If you make me that offer, I'll sign now. You know? So, I said to Charlo this morning, I just messaged him this morning and said, I saw your interview with Michelle Phelps. I said, do yourself a favour, don't listen to people with an agenda. Get your fight out of the way, we'll meet face to face. Because that's the difference. I had a brilliant meeting with Mikey Garcia. Brilliant meeting. What an intelligent man, what a great fighter, someone that understands the business from top to bottom. And I said to him, mate, you're one of the greatest fighters in the US. You could walk down any street in this country, no one will know who you are. And he agreed. He says, I need a promoter. But that's the top high
end. So where are you with Garcia?
He's fighting on July the 23rd, and then we're going to talk. And I'm confident, I'm hopeful that we can bring him to the state. You know, and he would be the figurehead. You know, guys like Garcia and Charlo, these guys are going to be the figurehead. You know how much money is involved in what we're about to do? Do you know how much money is going to be put in these marketing budgets for these fighters? These guys are going to be everywhere across the US. But the ones that get in early are going to see the real benefits. But once people get in, imagine I sign Garcia and Charlo, mate, the whole world will follow. So,
are you interested in both Charlos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they come as a package. I think they do. But both, I believe the Charlos can be superstars, not fighting on undercards. Yeah. So listen, we're talking to loads. Every fighter that doesn't have a promotional contract has virtually been on. Maybe 90% of all fighters, star fighters in the US, who don't have a promotional contract, has been on. And like I said, some just want to know the numbers, so they can go back to Hearn and go, oh, Hearn's offered me 50% more than you're paying me. And Hearn's going to have to go, I'll match it. Hearn should actually be coming to me and negotiating these deals, because some of these guys he represents, I think they'd be much better off.
So, are you ruling out Broner now?
I'm not ruling out anyone. You have to understand as well, we don't have to sign these guys. Do you understand? My job is to put on the best fights and best nights I can for DAZN and for the US fight fans. It's not about how many fighters can Eddie Hearn sign. Of course we're going to be signing fighters, but people like Broner, people like Garcia, people like Deontay Wilder, people like Gennady Golovkin, if he doesn't have a contract with anyone, these guys can have one-off fights on our platforms for much more money than they're making currently. But if they don't want to commit to me, no problem. But you commit to me, and you get a piece of my heart, and you get my commitment, I'm going to make you a star, motherfucker.
How close are you to actually naming your first signing?
We won't do that until the DAZN event, which we said it will be, looks like the last week of June. So on that event in New York, DAZN will be unveiling some, it's so hard not to tell you again, but some brilliant more content for fight fans coming to DAZN as well for the launch in September. And that event out there will be outlining our first show, which will be in September, and probably a great deal of our fighters that we've signed as well.
I thought the beef or whatever with Schaefer was ended, but it's...
Well, to my face, it couldn't be nicer. And then I saw that interview. I mean, I don't understand Richard Schaefer. Like, has he still got a job? Like, what is he doing? I mean, I know he was doing a bit for the series to get US TV and to bring US fighters to the series. That worked out well. Not. And then, like, he's like, why would you sign with Eddie Hearn? What does he know about the US market? Mate, who would sign with you? Like, anybody that tucks their shirt into a pair of jeans and wears them round their tits with a pair of sneakers on Like, this is a no-go area, and a blazer with gold buttons. Mate, drop me out. This is not cool. This is not what the public and the market audience want to see. So Richard Schaefer needs to pipe down and understand that right now, there's one guy that's relevant in that conversation, and it's Eddie Hearn. It ain't Richard Schaefer. So, please. But this is what I'm up against. You imagine a fighter goes to Schaefer or Heyman and goes, oh wow, had a great meeting with Eddie Hearn, he made me a life-changing offer. What do you think they'd say? Oh mate, you want to stay away from him, he's a prick. No, I mean this new platform, who knows whether that's going to work. I mean, what does Hearn know about the US market? Hey, what does Hearn know about the US market? He's just done the biggest deal in boxing history, not just in American history, and he's going to come in like a whirlwind and make these guys stars. Watch me. Do not back against me. I'm telling you now, all these people, I see it on the internet, oh, Hearn didn't get Broner, oh, this is going to be harder than it thinks. I don't think it's going to be easy. I wouldn't do it if it was easy. Give me a challenge and I will achieve it. And I'll tell you what, watch and see. Do not bet against me. And if you're a fighter out there and you're like, oh, I don't know, trust me, earn with Hearn. Earn with Hearn.
Okay, moving on.
Why are you shaking your head?
I'm not, I'm listening. Right, Dillian Whyte. Can you explain to me why you let it get to a purse bid situation without working a deal out with Kalla?
Because Pulev wouldn't do a deal.
Okay. For
Kalla
what
wanted
reason?
to do a deal.
Yeah.
Pulev didn't.
Okay.
The main reason for that is because he was in such a strong position in the purse bid at 75-25, you know? So really he got to a situation where he was happy to let it go to purse bids. Kalla bid 8.10, we bid 8.20, 8.30, and Epic bid 1.5.
Did you have an understanding that kind of bid would come from Epic?
So just for people who don't understand how the game works, you could go to Pulev and say, right, Pulev, I'm going to make a massive bid to make sure that we control the fight, right? Your purse is set at 600,000.
Okay. Yeah, you've explained this before, yeah.
So therefore, they bid 1.5, Dylan gets 375, but Pulev's set at 600, the total cost to them is 975. Right? So forget the 1 point. I don't know. Maybe Pulev didn't, and he's just had a touch of all touches. But now, since the bid's happening, we're speaking to Epics, who won the bid, about working together on the bid to try and help them achieve. Like Bob Arum's interested in putting it on a show on Top Rank. We'd be quite interested in putting it on a show in America. So,
hang on a minute. So with Epic, right? Have they not got the money, to your understanding, just to put that on themselves?
What you have to do is you have to put 20% down, 10% on the first bid, so 150. Another 10% which was due yesterday, which we're waiting to hear if that's been paid. Another 150, and then they'll have to pay the purses of the fight. But what they'll do is they control the rights. So now they sell the rights. Eddie, do you want to buy the UK rights back from? I've just won the purse bid. Would you be interested in buying the US rights, German rights? You know. So it's a bit of a well, it might sound weird, but it's not weird in a boxing sense. It's just what happens. But
is there the possibility that you'll pull Dillian Whyte out of this eliminator?
That's not the intention at the moment, no.
But is that a possibility?
No, I mean we have to see how secure the funds are. But we're up for this Pulev fight. Whyte wants to fight Pulev. He does have other options. One option is Luis Ortiz, which is a great fight, and another option that came up this morning, which I'm going to be speaking to Dillian about and Sky about, which is a big fight.
Well, Adam Smith's there. Do you want to talk about it now?
About that in a minute, no. And yeah, I mean, look, Dillian Whyte, outside of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, is the biggest heavyweight name in the world. So the next step is very important.
Tyson Fury?
What?
You said it's the biggest name outside of...
I don't see Tyson Fury as in the mix right now. Tyson Fury is a big name, he's a great fighter, but he's fighting a guy that's 5'10". He's the second best cruiserweight in Albania, and he's actually a boxing promoter. He's not even a boxer. So we can't take him seriously yet, but he is a great heavyweight, brilliant character, brilliant. I'll tell you all those things. I can't put him in the mix right now. So, cheers, buddy. But once he starts going through the gears, he will be, of course, he'll be a serious contender. I just see Dillian Whyte as the number 3 heavyweight in the world right now.
So, if the fight is to happen in Bulgaria, when would that take place?
When they give us a date. It has to happen before the end of August. I don't think it'll happen in Bulgaria. Everything they're talking about is to do the fight in the US.
Okay. But you're happy for Dillian Whyte to go over to the US for that fight?
I believe he beats Pulev wherever it is. So, it's just a case of looking at the other opportunities. Like I said, seeing if the money's secure and then going with it.
Can you just clarify the final eliminator status on these fights? IBF.
The winner fights Joshua.
Yeah, and with Ortiz.
Well, we've appealed that decision from the WBC. They're now saying that Brazil is mandatory out of nowhere, and that Ortiz would be the second mandatory, but back-to-back mandatories for Wilder. Listen, either way, because Josh is either going to fight Wilder or Povetkin, right? If he fights Povetkin, he's fighting Wilder next. And if he fights Wilder the first time, he might fight him again. So it doesn't really matter what position you're in as a mandatory, you're going to have to wait. And Dillian knows that. So it's more about the fight, sometimes the profile, and putting himself in a position. Because Josh is going to fight Dillian Whyte sooner or later anyway.
Okay, so your show on the 28th of July, without Dillian Whyte.
Possibly. Pulev might take that fight on July 28th.
Okay, but if it's not Dillian Whyte, do you still go ahead with that show and look to put Kell Brook on it?
Yeah. We were planning a huge show on the end of July, but again, we'll see what happens this weekend. But if no Dillian Whyte, Kell Brook will headline. Still at the O2, July 28th.
And what sort of opponent are you looking for Brook then?
Somewhere in the middle of Jarrett Heard and Rabchenko.
But not Jarrett Heard?
No, not Jarrett Heard. Not yet. I think he needs another fight. I think Amir Khan needs another fight. Amir Khan did 38 seconds or whatever, 28 seconds.
Did you contemplate putting him on the same bill?
Yeah, I don't think it really worked. I don't think the financials really worked, to be honest with you. And Amir's coming out the back of Ramadan, so he won't be ready till later on in the year. He'll box September the 8th, it looks like, in Birmingham.
Did you hear a response back from Buatsi for Yarde?
Haven't made an offer yet.
I thought you had made an offer. No.
Only Callum Johnson. Has Anthony Yarde got an opponent yet for June 23rd?
Not that I know of.
No.
But I think Frank's made some comments that...
Yeah, he said Buatsi should fight Callum Johnson and Jose Burton, and then Yarde will fight him after. Why not just make Yarde against Buatsi now? It's a great fight. Let them both box in June and July, and then we'll do it. I'll be making an offer. And if he wants to make an offer, no problem to let that fight happen on BT. Okay. No problem.
What's the situation with Johnson and Beterbiev?
Beterbiev has a legal dispute, which I believe at the moment they're waiting on the ruling for the judge. I think that he can only make a fight right now if it's done by a purse bid. Fortunately, the purse bid for that is 85.15. So we'll have to see. Callum Johnson unequivocally wants that fight next. So fucking great, isn't it? I mean, he's like everybody from the IBF ranking turned that fight down. Callum Johnson went, fucking yes, please. Like, he's just come back from nowhere. He's just beat Frank Buglioni in a round. Now he's got a shot at world title. His mentality is, let's go. And he can punch, mate. I mean, they both can. It's an absolute war, that fight. So Callum has nothing to lose in that fight. And you know what? He chins Beterbiev. He's a new world champion. Got to be in it to win it, baby.
See people giving you and him a little bit of stick for that fight even being considered. But how could you have that mentality?
Oh no. What are you supposed to do?
Absolutely.
I mean, look, it's a really tough fight. Beterbiev is a beast. No one wants to fight. But Callum Johnson was out of the game. Like, you know, he had his personal problems. He came back, he overcame them. He beat Frank Buglioni in a round, and he's been given a world title fight. I understand. Like, look, Anthony Yarde got offered that fight. He didn't take it. I understand. You know, they're trying to build him. He's got. But Callum's like, listen, I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm just coming off a massive win. What have I got to lose? I just want to make sure that he gets paid correctly for that fight. That's all.
Who, Callum?
Yes. Because I ain't letting him go into that fight without getting paid for it. He don't care about the money. I do. Because that's a proper fight. That's a tough fight. And if no one else wants to fight him, you better fucking know he's getting paid for that fight if we take it.
Did you meet Bellew the other day? Or did you speak to him on the phone?
On the phone, yeah. Had a good hour on the phone. Just reminiscing about the madness that's happened in the life of Tony Bellew. Just from a selfish point of view, my biggest achievement. I mean, to see a fighter go from British, European, world level, and earning good money, but to where he's got to, and for someone like, for it to happen to someone like Tony Bellew, it's been great. Great.
Will he fight this year?
If he fights again, I think he'll fight this year. I spoke to people from Andre Ward's team. I don't really want to get involved in making offers until I know what Tony's doing. So give us a couple of weeks, and if he wants to carry on, then they'll be hearing from him.
A lot of talk over Fury and Bellew, that was Devon case.
When David Haye pulled out of the fight for the second time, Tony lost his head. He said, I'm not fighting Haye, he'll never fight again. I said, Tony, trust me, he will fight again, and this is the right fight for you. No, I'm going to go, I spoke to Fury, I'm going to go and see him. I went, go and see him, see what happens. He went to see him, they shook on the fight. 50-50 split, it was all agreed. Yeah? And then, obviously it weren't agreed, and then he wanted to fight all these other people. So we fought Haye, and I'm so pleased he did fight Haye, because if he would have signed for that Fury fight, it would have never happened. So don't worry about Tony Bellew fighting David Haye, worry about fighting Tyson Fury. Worry about Tyson Fury fighting Tony Bellew.
You think Andre Ward will be the strongest possibility, though, if it's the fight again?
For this year? Fury, I'm not saying Fury won't fight Bellew, I believe he will, but he wants 3-4 of these knockovers first. So he'll do one coming up, he'll do one in September, probably do one in December. So he'll probably be ready for Bellew in a year's time. I love Fury against Dillian Whyte.
That's a good fight.
Great fight.
Right. Wilder Joshua.
Yeah.
Probably it's 20 minutes we haven't mentioned Wilder Joshua. So.
Yeah. So, where are we? So my old man, I think he's probably sitting down with Shirley right now, having a cup of coffee in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was over there. He said, do you want me to go and see Shirley? I said, yes, I think you should. But we're running out of time. So AJ decided, and the team decided, this fight should take place in the UK. And...
So that's not up for debate?
No.
It will happen in the UK, the fight won't happen.
Correct.
From your side? Okay.
Like as in next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which, by the way, and look, this isn't, there's no beef between me, Wilder, like, the communication is flowing, you know what I mean? It's not, and he knows, I think he always knew that the fight was going to happen in the UK anyway. So we went back, we improved our offer. I think he feels like I think they feel like it's a strong offer, and he's got to decide. He's got a couple of choices. He can sign to do the fight in September, or he can sign to do the fight in December or February. But if he don't do the one for September, we're going to fight Alexander Povetkin. We have a great relationship.
You've gone back with an improved offer?
Yes. Yeah, this was a while. Yeah, this was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So we're in a situation where we have a great relationship with Rybinski and Vadim, Povetkin. I've been very honest with them. We can do a deal with them for that September fight for our mandatory against Povetkin. But we're also saying to Wilder, like, just let us know. If you don't want to fight us in September, no problem. We can talk about the fight in December or February. But Josh wants to fight in September, and that's what he'll do.
Will that be at Wembley? Yeah.
Possibly, not definitely, no.
What's the other venues you're with?
Loads in September. Go outdoors in September. A few we're looking at.
When's the deadline for this?
Well, I've got to be careful when I say deadline, because I said this the other day that we've probably got 2 weeks. This was about 4 days ago. And someone says Hearn sets Wilder deadline. I'm not setting a deadline. I'm just saying we need to make a decision, and we need to make a decision next week, basically. So listen, they might turn around in the meeting today and say we take the fight.
Are you expecting that?
They're under a lot of pressure, because what's the other options? What is the other options? Fight Brazil for $3 million. I mean, if he doesn't want to fight Joshua next, I'll make him an offer to fight Brazil on DAZN. Probably twice as much as he's making at the moment.
What, with a view to then fighting Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to fight on DAZN to get a Joshua fight. If that fight has to happen on Showtime, we understand that. That's part of the deal. But if he doesn't want to fight Joshua next, I could do his next fight. pay him a lot more money. He's making it money. So plenty could happen. But like I said, maybe at the meeting today they turn around and say, "Go on then, you got us."
Your dad's in New York right now,
Yeah.
having a coffee with Shelley.
I don't know right now, yeah, but yeah, probably now.
Probably now. Okay. Can I ask your opinion on the UFC show in Liverpool last week?
I saw
With
it.
Darren
I
Till.
watched it the next night. I mean, look, I don't really understand a lot about UFC. What I understand is about production, and they do a brilliant job. Great brand. Till is a blessing for them because they have a very good UFC fighter from Liverpool, which is a right touch for them. Packed out arena, great atmosphere. Apparently the fight didn't live up to. But I don't understand what's a good fight, what's not a good fight in UFC. I just know he won. What else do I know? He missed the weight. I saw the video of him making the weight. I think in all fight sports, people really got to get on top of this weight making shit. You know, I mean, look, these guys, they've got no quitting them. Jamie McDonnell was enough. You know, I mean, he just wanted to make the weight as a pro, and there comes a time. But the problem is, if you don't make the weight, you get absolutely chastised by everybody. Look at Scott Quigg. You know, 3 pound out, had the injury. In the end, it was like, look, I'm not going to do any more because I can't. Oh, you're a disgrace. You know, you got to understand these guys are honest people, and I know Till missed the weight, but listen, he's a star, mate. He's brilliant for the UFC, great for fight sports, and
MTK signed as well.
MTK, brilliant. So it's like they're going to have a lot of fun with Darren Till, and I would keep him in Liverpool for as long as I can.
Yeah, because Dana White was saying about him taking him to Vegas next, but Till saying that he wants to fight.
Like the Scousers won't travel like I mean they will travel, but you know, like Conor. There's a lot of Irish in America. Don't get me wrong, there are Scousers in America, but not in the same way. I don't know anything about the UFC business. They're doing a brilliant job. They're geniuses. They know what they're doing. If it was me, I'd want to keep him in Liverpool. But
a word on McDonnell?
Yeah, I mean, look. After the Solis fight, he sort of made the decision to move up to Super Bantam. But the Inoue fight come up. It was a challenge that he wanted to take. It was a lot of money, and he just couldn't make the weight how he needed to be competitive against someone like Inoue. But he wanted to make the weight. He didn't want to let anyone down, and he wanted to go out on his shield. And unfortunately, he didn't have the legs in the fight. And even if he did, Inoue is an exceptional talent, so he might not beat him. But he's going to move up. It looks like he's going to actually move up to feather. Because when you think Super Bantam's only a few pounds more than Bantam, so I think you're going to see him move up to feather, and he's going to try and get another shot at world title. Kaoyafai was brilliant in such a good career move for Kaoyafai, that fight. You know, I said to him, your future's in America, mate. And this deal's come at such a great time. But he boxed really well, he lit up that arena, everybody loved him, and I'm going to try and make the Chocolatito fight in September.
Wow.
October, November.
Okay. Isn't there something about Chocolatito? Has he failed a scan or something?
I don't believe so, I haven't seen that. If he has, it won't be Chocolatito.
If I've got that wrong, I apologise, but I thought I read that. Apologise, I'll check.
By the way, it's not Chocolatito.
Chocolatito.
Correct.
A word on this show? Now
we've
talk to you about this next week.
Yeah, we've done the build-up. This is like Next Gens. When I started Next Gens, it was like to give some of the younger fighters the opportunity to box in championship experience at prime time with a field arena. It started off Craig Richards fighting for the Southern Area title. That was our first Next Gen. Now look at it. Coley against Watkins for the Commonwealth Cruiserweight title. Cheeseman against Upton for the WBA International. Bellotti against Doyle. Danny Aryalusinov. I mean, it's almost like a Sky Sports show on a Wednesday night. Something a little bit different. So when you get home from work next Wednesday, you sit in front of the TV, you put your dinner on your lap, and you just watch it all unfold. I like that. I like a little bit of Wednesday night action. Who doesn't? So what you're going to get, and I urge people, anyone watching this, to make sure you tune in next Wednesday to Sky Sports. It's going to be a great night of entertainment, watching all the young boys coming through. Coley might not beat Watkins. is a tough fight.
This is
tough
this
fight.
is tougher than what people are making out.
So's Cheeseman against Upton.
Yeah.
This is where we find out. Do we have a star or do we not? But now we're finding out sooner rather than later.
All right, we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth with the card next week at your press conference on Monday.
All right, mate.
All right, Eddie, and thank you very much for all the time for TV. We'll catch up with you soon.